Hi guys, and welcome to the first video on star sign vocabulary. I'm going to get right into it. Okay, so for this series of videos, I'm using Elle magazine in French, Elle.fr, because when I was doing the research for the star signs, it was just such beautifully written, clearly written work. Like I said, this is a vocabulary exercise. It's not to what extent I think they've summed up star signs well. But you know, I just think it's a really nice bit of, I just think it's a really nice bit of French. Where am I going? Wrong camera today. I've twisted the camera around because I'm going to be looking at the computer. So, yeah, I again, like I said, if it's not something that you believe in, take it with a pinch of salt. It's just for the vocabulary. Equally, do try and say some of this vocabulary out loud. That is obviously that's the point of all of this. Whenever you've got vocabulary, don't just become expert readers. Do try and sort of like get it in your mouth and stuff. Yeah. Good. Right then, let's go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read it out quickly, one line, then the translation, one line, then the translation. Off you go. So the link will be underneath, and I will also copy paste the text into the description underneath. So by all means then, guys, if Elle.fr is a good source of French for you, another great resource. Magazine, modern magazine. Obviously traditionally a magazine for women, but I don't really like gender stuff. And on the topic of gender stuff, they've kind of divided men and women, which I'm never comfortable with. But again, can I remind you, this is not an exercise in, personality assessments. It is just the vocabulary. So I'm not hugely comfortable with dividing men and women, or even just the big men, women. But let's just go. All right. So. Caractère de votre signe, so character of your sign. So la femme Bélier, so le profil de la femme Bélier. Okay, so Aries women. Okay. Alors la femme Bélier n'est pas une grande discrète. So an Aries woman isn't super discreet. Elle est intelligente, but it would basically mean she's not like a wallflower. Elle est intelligente, fonceuse et tranchante comme une épée. So she's smart, kind of goes for it, as cutting as a sword. Yeah, une épée. De prime abord, la native possède une assurance énorme et se montre apte à affronter n'importe qui, à débattre d'art, de politique ou de philosophie, selon son domaine de prédilection. So first of all, a born Aries has a sense of self-assurance, an enormous sense of self-assurance, and reveals herself to be up for taking on anybody to debate art, politics, or philosophy, whatever, interests her. Okay? Elle est énergique, déteste la passivité et tient son indépendance. So she's energetic, énergique. Yeah, let's highlight the interesting adjectives. Not energetic, énergique. Detests passivity, and clings on to her independence. Elle tient à son indépendance. Elle sera sans doute attirée par des univers, des sports ou des métiers traditionnellement réservés aux hommes. So she will be, without doubt, drawn to universes, sports, or even jobs that are traditionally reserved for men. Good on you, my love. La politique, le golf, le foot. So, politics, golf, football. Elle bouscule avec joie, les habitudes, les conventions et les mentalités sexistes. So she basically, they write that, but have a male-female divide. So bousculer is kind of like, so she bowls over kind of thing. With joy, she's happy to just, demolish, habits, conventions, and sexist mentalities. La femme Bélier remercie souvent le ciel de n'être pas née au siècle dernier. So, Aries woman often thanks the sky. So, thanks her lucky stars, we would say, to have not been born in the last century. Okay? Notice the infinitive auxiliary, de n'être pas née. Okay? Mais elle est tout à fait consciente. Look and read with light. Mais elle est à tout à fait conscience qu'à notre époque encore, il reste beaucoup à faire. Okay? But she's more than aware, that there's still some work to do. La native est attirée par le pouvoir, Quand elle a un objectif, elle ne lâche pas. So she's attracted by power, but when she's got an objective, she doesn't let it go. Elle ne lâche pas. Let it go. Lâche-moi, let me go. Okay. Elle est une incroyable compétitrice. Elle ne peut pas envisager de vivre sans challenge. So she's incredibly competitive. That there is a noun. Compétitrice. So a competitor for a woman. She can't envisage living without a challenge. Ou de ne pas aller au bout de ses capacités, or to not go to, the real, the end of her capacities, to basically go to the ultimate degree, to really test herself. La native suit sa propre route et ne se laisse jamais guider par une autorité si elle ne la juge pas légitime. So she's follows her own path. She never lets herself be guided by an authority if she doesn't consider it to be legitimate. Légitime. Ainsi, si ses professeurs ou ses supérieurs hiérarchiques veulent être écoutés, ils doivent avant tout être admirés. So, in other words, if her teachers or those above her hierarchically wants to be listened to by her, they have to first of all be admired by her. Rien n'effraie plus la femme bélier que la bêtise et la médiocrité. So nothing scares an Aries woman more than basically stupidity and mediocrity. Mais elle sait reconnaître le talent et ne se montre jamais jalouse. But she knows how to recognize talent and she never, ever, ever, reveals herself to be jealous. Lovely. Femme bélier et les hommes. Women, Aries women and men. Alors, la femme bélier a besoin d'un amoureux courageux et suffisamment confiant pour supporter son indépendance. So, Aries woman needs brave lovers, but lover as in a physical sense would be an amant. So, this is like people she's in love with. Sufficiently confident to tolerate her independence. Il ne lui faut pas forcément un homme aussi ambitieux et fonceur qu'elle, mais quelqu'un d'assez intelligent pour ne pas se sentir rabaissé par une femme de caractère. So she doesn't necessarily need a man as ambitious and go-getting as she is, but someone who's sufficiently intelligent to not feel put down by a woman of character. Let's have some light. God, that's a horrible light. Where are we? D'ailleurs, quand le natif s'apercevra qu'il vaut mieux choisir son amoureux selon l'intelligence et l'ouverture d'esprit que la force et l'ambition, elle aura fait un grand pas vers le bonheur. So, by the way, on that note, when the Aries woman, when she eventually works out that it's better to choose her lover according to intelligence and openness of spirit than strength and ambition, she'll have made a good step towards happiness. Okay, it's a little bit better light. Pardon me, guys. Working light. Let's get rid of that one. Still a bit bright, but never mind. La femme bélier se moque de la sécurité que peut apporter une relation de couple. So Aries woman doesn't care less about security that can be brought by the relationship of being a relationship. Elle veut se suffire à elle-même et exister toute seule. So she wants to be self-sufficient and exist all by herself. Même si elle aime être en couple, cela ne doit jamais devenir un poids. So even if she wants to be in a couple, that never has to be necessarily a weight around her neck. Une nécessité ou une contrainte, so or a necessity or a restraint. La femme bélier cherche un amoureux attentionné mais surtout pas étouffant. So she likes a kind of a lover that pays attention, but not, cloying. Elle a besoin de son espace et de son indépendance, so she needs her space and her independence. You go, girl. Let's go down to male Aries, all right? Alors, l'homme bélier semble toujours prêt à bondir. So, Aries man is always ready to sort of bounce back up. Alors, il est pressé, sans doute sportif, et cherche l'action. So, he's in a hurry, very sporty without doubt, and is always after action. That doesn't necessarily mean sexual action. Il aime se dépenser, aller au bout de ses capacités, et il ne s'endort jamais sur ses lauriers. So he likes to exhaust himself, go to the end of his capacities, and he never falls asleep on his laurels, as we say. So he doesn't rest on his laurels. S'endormir to fall asleep. Il est ambitieux, courageux, et n'a pas peur de prendre la défense des plus faibles ou de partir à l'aventure. So he's ambitious, courageous, and he's not afraid to, to defend those who are weaker than him or to go off on an adventure. Et contrairement à son proche voisin, l'homme lion, le natif a les pieds sur terre, ce qui le rend très efficace. So, contrary to his close neighbor Leo, the male Leo, this born Aries, has his feet on the ground, which makes him very efficient. Alors l'homme bélier a besoin de challenges, de relever des défis, c'est cela sa vision du bonheur. So he needs challenges to, overcome, challenges. That's his vision of happiness. Il a tendance à prendre, I'm always teaching that verb, il a tendance à prendre des décisions au nom de tous ses... à me diriger, ok. So he tends to take decisions for everybody else, and he likes to lead. Cet aspect de sa personnalité peut le rendre légèrement irritant, voire tyrannique. So this aspect of his personality can make him slightly irritating, even tyrannical, voire even. Mais l'homme bélier est plus à l'aise dans l'action que dans le dialogue, but he's more comfortable in action than in dialogue. Alors il n'aime pas perdre son temps avec de grands discours et manque parfois de diplomatie. So he doesn't like to waste his time with big speeches and often lacks diplomacy. Son entourage devra apprendre à le remettre gentiment à sa place de temps en temps. So those that surround him should learn to gently put him in his place from time to time. L'homme bélier est intelligent et sait aussi accepter les critiques, même si cela ne semble pas toujours évident de prime abord. So, Aries male is intelligent and can accept criticism, even if that doesn't always seem evident straight away. Notice the word we're using for that in written French is cela, not ça, okay? L'homme bélier et les femmes, so basically Aries male and women. Alors l'homme bélier n'aime pas la facilité, quel que soit le domaine. So Aries males don't like things being easy, whatever the area. Celui de l'amour ne fait pas donc pas exception à la règle. So basically, the area of love is no exception to the rule. Pour plaire à un homme bélier, il ne faut pas se montrer trop accessible. So if you want to basically catch the eye of or please an Aries male, don't come across as too accessible. Il aime les femmes de caractère. He could like men. This is the thing. I'm so like, Elle, you can do better than this. You can do better than this. Maybe your Aries male likes chaps, or both. So, il aime les femmes de caractère, les princesses hautaines. So he likes celles qui ne manquent pas d'assurance. So he likes women full of character, haughty princesses, hautaines, celles qui ne manquent pas d'assurance. So those who are not lacking in self-confidence. D'ailleurs, il vaut mieux pour l'amoureuse du bélier qu'elle ait confiance en elle. So basically, by the way, it's better for an Aries' lover that she has confidence in herself. Notice the subjunctive there, yeah? Car il n'est pas du genre à abreuver sa fiancée de compliments. So he's not basically going to be like, she's not going to be overwhelmed with compliments from him, okay? They're not going to be spilling over. Ou de mots doux. Alors, il est indépendant, tient à sa liberté. Again, we've got that expression tenir à. So, il est indépendant, tient à sa liberté et déteste la routine que peut engendrer une relation de couple. So, he's independent, holds on to his respects, values his liberty, his freedom, and hates routine that can basically, engender, a couple's relationship. What would be a better word, engendrer, rather than engender? I'm going a bit posh with that. What would be a lower word? Beget. I suppose produce. Lead to. That'd be better rather than engender. Yes, I think that's sometimes I go into a little bit of franglais. And you have to be careful. Back we go. I've lost it. Where have we gone? Car il n'est pas du genre à abreuver sa fiancée du compliment et du mot doux. Yeah. So it's not the sort of... abreuver is kind of like... An abreuvoir is kind of where you give water to animals and things. So it's not going to overly... Not water with compliments. So notice that we're getting into figurative language, which is when you have to translate not literally. If you translated literally, it'd be a bit odd here. Il veut être surpris, étonné, ébloui par son amoureuse. So he likes to be surprised, astonished, and kind of blown away, blinded by his love. Même après plusieurs années de relation, even after several years of relationships, elle doit lui montrer qu'elle peut tout à fait vivre sans lui. Elle doit lui montrer qu'elle peut tout à fait vivre sans lui pour qu'il ait envie de rester. So she has to show him that he can survive without her, so that he's, so that he wants to stay. Pour qu'il ait, subjunctive. L'amour ne l'intéresse que lorsqu'il pense qu'il reste encore à conquérir. So love only interests him as long as, lorsqu'il pense, as long as he thinks that he's still got something to conquer. I so know people like that, and I need to check their date of birth to see if that is who they are. Interesting, maybe I'm a convert. Alors de son côté, il fera tout pour entretenir la flamme, pour se faire désirer, pour que son amoureuse ne se lasse jamais de lui. From his side, he will do everything to maintain the flame, to keep the flame burning, pour se faire désirer, to be desired, so that his lover never tires of him. Not lasser, se lasser, to be tired of. Dans ces conditions, l'homme bélier peut même envisager de se marier. In these conditions, Aries male can even envisage getting married. All right, well done Aries if this was you, or if you are with an Aries, well done. All right, some good vocabulary. Read it through again. It'll be underneath. Click like if you like. Take care, guys.